What's going on YouTube? GeoSnow right here. So in today's video we're talking about a release of a tool that is actually quite useful for custom-made firmware, for jailbreaking, and even for iCloud bypasses, and it was released. So this tool works for iOS 15 beta, 14.6, 14.4, 14.5, even on the A12, A13, and A14 devices. This video is brought to you by AnyTrans, a software that allows you to manage your device and of course the data on it, manage the data on your iCloud account, and so on, and your media library. Definitely check it out in the link below. There's a free version available for you to try. So a couple of hours ago, this developer posted, quote, "I updated iBoot 64 patcher to work from iOS 7 to iOS 15. And they posted a link to GitHub, and of course the tool is available in here. All the source code is included. So as you can see, it says in here that it supports iOS 14 plus now. So the update that was added was to add support for iOS 14 and 15 beta. So why is this important? Well, because this can be used for creation of, patched firmware like custom-made firmwares and stuff like that, and for jailbreak purposes. Now, if you take, for example, Checkra has to patch iBoot in order to be able to load the jailbreak. In fact, Checkra patches the boot chain itself, starting from the BOOTROM and going all the way up to the kernel in order to achieve the jailbreak. So the way that Checkra works is basically through some sort of custom firmware, but not really a firmware, but rather the components of it, like patched kernel, various patched components of the firmware. So one of those, called iBoot, is what loads others like the kernel and so on. And the kernel is exactly what you need to patch for jailbreak purposes. But there is an important fact in here. If you want to load a patched up kernel that would allow you to jailbreak, iBoot would actually refuse you because of course it can tell that the kernel was modified or it's not the original. So you would have to patch iBoot as well, and of course if you patch iBoot, which is loaded by the BOOTROM, you will have to patch the BOOTROM. Now for the BOOTROM, on many devices there is the iPon DFU or the Checkmate, which can be used to patch that, but Checkmate only patches the BOOTROM, it doesn't patch iBoot or the kernel. So a tool like iBoot 64 patcher, which was updated, would definitely help you do that. So for those of you who are interested in custom-made firmware for either iCloud bypass or jailbreak purposes, or for any other sort of tool, this would basically work pretty well. And this also supports the PAC devices, the PAC iBoot, even though there's no BOOTROM exploit for those, but the tool itself seems to be working, so that's actually quite useful. And it does work on 14.6, 14.5.1, 14.5, 14.4.2, 14.4.1, and any other 14.x version. So this is pretty useful in here. On the notes it says, quote, iBoot 64 patcher supports any iBoot, even the pack ones, from iOS 7 to iOS 15, and of course it can be turned into a full iBoot patcher, but Kairos is way better. Mine can be used for test purposes. So yeah, there is apparently another tool by Dayton called Kairos project, and of course this one seems to have some features that are found on that one as well. So yes, many people sent me this asking me what this is. It's a good tool created for patching the IPSWs. For example, you get the IPSW for 14.6, you download it, and of course you can patch it and create a jailbreak directly from the IPSW, and it would be similar to Checkra. In fact, it would probably be very similar to Checkra in terms of, semi-tethered and stuff like that, but it is very important for those who are interested in iCloud bypass because you can create a custom-made firmware with this, especially on the Checkmate devices. So is it useful? Yes, definitely. It's a good tool, and I looked on the code and it's actually quite well made. However, it's not extremely useful right now for the A12 and A13 devices, though it is compatible with them because it does support the iBoot from the pack devices, which are the A12 and newer. So this tool is indeed compatible, but we still need more things like, for example, a BOOTROM exploit to be able to fully use it. So yeah, this is what it is. It's not at all useful for Uncover or for Taurine. This is not a kernel exploit or something like that. This is useful for other sorts of jailbreaks like the Checkra and so on. If somebody wants to build something like Checkra, they can do that, and this one combined with the iPon DFU would be a good first step. But yeah, it's not good for Uncover or anything like that, but that doesn't mean it's not a good tool. In fact, it can be pretty useful, and I might be able to use this in order to update the firmware manager that I worked on a couple of years ago for iCloud bypass purposes or for custom-made firmware. So yeah, if you're interested, tell me in the links below. But yeah, it's a good tool, pretty useful. Thank you for watching, I am GeoSnow. Till the next time, subscribe to stay updated, and peace out.